Hey y'all, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Baker Girl. Thank you, Jesus. It is another beautiful day to be in the kitchen. And today I'm going to share with you my recipe for this delicious buttermilk coconut pie. It's a combination of two Southern treats, both a coconut pie and a buttermilk pie. That recipe is coming up, so stay tuned. Before I jump into the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share your comments and your thoughts. And if you have any recipes that you would like me to try, leave it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to try them out. This recipe idea came from a viewer, so leave those ideas and suggestions in the comments and I'll be more than happy to bake it and share the recipe with you guys. So let's and I'll show you how to bake this delicious coconut buttermilk pie. Stay tuned. Now today I'm going to make a recipe that one of my viewers asked if I could make, and I thought, okay, why not? It's something my dad likes. So, and this is for him. So I thought, okay, I'll do it. And it's a shame I haven't shared this recipe before. I do a pie series every fall in the month of November. And I do all kinds of pies, mostly traditional pies, which by the way, a buttermilk pie is a very traditional pie, but more in the realm of apple, sweet potato, pumpkin, and whatnot. But a coconut pie is not necessarily a seasonal pie. It's something that in the South you can make and have anytime because it's so easy and it goes together so quickly. You don't need a whole lot of reason per se to make this pie. So my reason for making it is you asked and I will make it. Now I get lots of good suggestions from my viewers. One of my viewers in Texas, hi Miss L, she gives me good ideas all the time. And so I listen. Don't think not for 1 minute that I don't pay attention. I listen, and I've got some ideas about how to put some of your requests together. So I'm not going to say a whole lot, but just look out and know that it's in the works, y'all. It's in the works. But this is a little bit more speedy, a little bit more quick. And I thought, it's for my dad. I thought, hey, go ahead and make it, share the recipe, and my dad can have one of his very favorite things. So what I will be making today is a coconut buttermilk pie. Now, in the South, you typically have one or the other on a table, whether it's family reunion, dinners or suppers or even funerals. You usually have one or the other, but you can combine the two and make one very delicious, yummy pie. You don't have to, you can split the deal, so to speak, and have coconut and buttermilk, because really a buttermilk pie is a very simple pie. It's a riff off of those pies that doesn't require a ton of ingredients and it's not, overdone. So you have those kind of pies. A chess pie is one of them. Then you have a lemon chess pie. You have a chocolate chess pies. There are vinegar pies. There are raisin pies. Up here, I didn't grow up eating this, but up here they have a brown sugar pie, which it's good, but it's very sweet because it literally is just the only thing that in the recipe that stands out is the brown sugar because it's a brown sugar pie. So it's pretty much like caramel in a crust, but a very loose, eggy caramel in a crust, if you can kind of picture that. It's very good, but if you're not used to how sweet it is, it can be a little bit of a shocker. And if you know me, you know I am not a sugar-loving person. I don't like overly sweetened things. So that kind of pie for me is a little bit too sweet. Actually, for my entire family, it's a little bit too sweet. We like sugar, oh yeah, but we don't like we don't like sugar to be the first thing that you taste, or, all it's about is the sugar. So a buttermilk pie, coconut pie, as I say, a lemon chess pie or a plain chess pie, or a lemon meringue pie or any of those kind of pies that are not strictly fruit based. Because yes, a lemon meringue pie is fruit juice based, but it isn't like a peach pie or an apple pie or a blueberry pie or a cherry pie. It's in the category along with all of those other pies that I mentioned before. So today I'm going to combine two of my daddy's favorite things and make him a coconut buttermilk pie. This comes together in no time. So preheat your oven to 425 degrees and let's get baking. Now here I have one of my ready-made pie shells. The recipe for this pie crust is on my channel. I also have a playlist that's called All About Pies, and the recipe or the video and everything is under that playlist. So you don't have to go, running around. Just go to my channel, click on my playlist, All About Pies, and you'll find the recipe for this pie crust. Now, speaking of the pie crust, you can use any kind of pie crust. You can use gluten-free. You can use graham cracker if you wanted to. We prefer a traditional pie crust, so that's what I'm going to be using. Now, it's ready-made, it's frozen. I'm going to go ahead and blind bake this. Now, in my pie playlist, I show you how to blind bake pie crust in just about every one of my recipes. It's a rare recipe that I don't blind bake it because there's nothing worse than a soggy, gummy, soggy bottom. And nobody wants soggy bottom. And pre-cooking it helps prevent a soggy bottom. Now, depending on what you're going to put in it, you could still end up with a bit of a soggy bottom, especially if the ingredients that you're putting in it is very juicy and very loose. That moisture got to go somewhere and it's going to go straight into the pie crust. But to prevent some of that, you always blind bake a pie crust. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, if you want to see how to blind bake and all of that, the easiest recipe on my channel that I would go to is my white pumpkin pie. And in that, I give you a very, very close up shot of how I blind bake pie crust. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of parchment on this, fill it with pie weights, in my case, dried beans, and then just put it in the oven and let it par bake. And then I'll take it out and let it cool and proceed with the filling. Now, while the pie crust is pre-baking in the oven, let's talk about the ingredients. Because as I say, because these are not super expensive ingredients. It's stuff you probably already have in your pantry. Now, I am of the opinion that food is food. I don't believe in expensive food. None of that. Food is food. But there are some foods that are simpler in terms of ingredients and simpler in terms of price. And this is one of those pies. I'm not a massive fan of thinking of poverty bakes or poverty food per se, because in my opinion, you could be a king or a queen if you have food to put in your stomach, regardless of whether it's beans and bread or bread and water. If you have food, you are rich and you are richly blessed. So I don't like to think of food in terms of poor or rich or none of that. Personally, a cup of milk cares less whether I'm rich or I'm poor. It's just a cup of milk. So all food should be treated as the blessing that it is and treated all equally well. In my baking career, I have baked with very expensive ingredients, and I mean expensive ingredients. And then I've also baked with, humble things that I do every day, such as sourdough bread, which is nothing but flour and water and some salt, and that is all. So I look at it as whether I'm baking with an expensive chocolate from Belgium or I'm working with a humble sourdough loaf, which is just flour, water, and salt. If I can sit down and put any of it in my stomach, I count it a blessing. So that's what I mean by I don't get into the whole poverty aspect of food, because I don't believe in that. But all that aside, let's go over the ingredients that go into this coconut buttermilk pie. Now, first ingredients is no not necessarily coconut or buttermilk. The first ingredient is sugar. Now here I've got some sugar. Now a lot of recipes call for more sugar than mine does. And you can, if you want, like your pies, if you have a quite a sweet tooth, you can increase the sugar. But I'm happy with the amount of sugar because the coconut that I am adding is sweetened flaked coconut. If yours is unsweetened, you may want to add in a bit more sugar. But I've got regular granulated white sugar or caster sugar. And then I've got sweetened flaked coconut. The coconut is untoasted. If you toast it, which you can, just know it'll change the texture of your pie. It may be for the better if that's what you like, or if you don't like it, and I suspect for this pie, I would prefer to leave it untoasted. Now, that opens up a whole new question of, should I toast it, Sarah, or should I not? The answer is, it depends on what texture you like. If you like a little bit of a drier coconut texture, by all means, toast it. If you like more of a creamy, custardy coconut texture, don't toast it. I'm going more for creamy coconut texture today, so I'm not toasting it. I have some eggs. I have 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. I have some cornstarch or cornflour. You can use all-purpose flour if you want to. But I'm using cornstarch or cornflour. Now, a buttermilk chess pie would use cornmeal and perhaps some flour. But again, a chess pie is slightly different from just a straight up buttermilk pie. Now, for the buttermilk, I have some buttermilk here. Now, this is at room temperature. That smells good. This is at room temperature. You want it to be at room temperature, as is the eggs. You don't want it to be cold because it will cause the butter to solidify, and it turns it. If your ingredients are cold, whether it's your buttermilk or your eggs, your butter will start to re-solidify and it'll form these little bitty flakes. And when your pie bakes, the butter will start to melt in those little pools because it's not incorporated into the custard. It's just kind of hanging out wherever it finds some space to be solid. So it'll start to melt in these little pools, which is okay, but it can make the texture of your pie a little bit greasy. So make sure, this may sound trivial, but make sure the buttermilk and the eggs is at room temperature. I also have a half a stick of unsalted butter that I melted. It's melted and cool, but as you can see, it's still liquidy. It hasn't, it's not like cold, it's just cool. Now for the flavorings for this pie, you all know I love to give you choices and I love to give you options in your baking because that to me is one of the whole points of baking from scratch in your own kitchen. You make it how you want it. Now, if you were not adding coconut into this pie, you could flavor this buttermilk pie in any direction you want it. You could add lemon zest, you can add lime zest, you can add a combination of lemon and lime zest. You can also add some lemon and some lime juice, and you'll get a you get a buttermilk pie with a little bit of a kick running around in the back, which would be delicious. But I'm adding coconut, and I really didn't want lemon in a lemon coconut buttermilk pie. No. So today I'm using some chai spice, which the word chai means tea. The reason why it's called chai spice is because it's the same spices that goes into masala chai, which is cardamom, ginger, black pepper, allspice, and this one has star anise added as well. But it's very good, and oh wow, the first thing you smell is ginger and nutmeg, which is really nice. I'm going to add some of this into it. But again, if you don't have the combination of spices, you can use ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg, black pepper. Always add black pepper, just a pinch. And then this one adds star anise. But if you don't want to add the star anise, you don't have to. Also, y'all know I love my vanilla bean paste. So this is a bourbon vanilla bean paste from Trader Joe's. And to just enhance the coconut flavor, I'm going to add a little bit of pure coconut extract. And then, of course, I have some salt because none of this has salt If you don't add salt, you really won't get all of the flavor. So those are the ingredients. Let's put this pie together. Now I'm going to start off by whisking together my eggs, which those go straight in. 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. And by the way, don't worry, the recipe is in the description below. And I'm going to go ahead and add in the sugar. And goes the sugar. And I'm just going to start to whisk this together. You don't need to go, nothing extreme. Just start to combine the eggs and the sugar. Then I'm going to add in, because you all know I always say, add in your extracts with your ingredients. And I'm going to add in about, this is where you get to eyeball it. I'm going to add in about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. If you were using vanilla extract, just use about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. But just remember, vanilla bean paste is a lot stronger than vanilla extract. Oh, I should not have got rid of my measuring spoon because I needed to measure out my coconut. Okay, we're gonna eyeball this one, y'all. This is really like my grandmother's. That smells good. Okay, we're just gonna go. That's good. That's about a 1/4 teaspoon. Okay. Anyway, just whisk that in. Now I'm going to whisk in my butter. I'm just gonna grab a spatula and pour in the melted butter. Now I'm just using 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And there are some recipes that call for more butter. 4 tablespoons of butter is a plenty. And just whisk that in. Beautiful. Now, don't forget the salt. Salt, easily forgotten. I'm just gonna, you all know I always say a fat pinch of salt. Mix in the salt. Now I'm going to add in my spices. I'm going to add in about a 1/4 teaspoon of my spice blend. You can use a pumpkin pie spice for this too. It says pumpkin, but really it doesn't have to be pumpkin. It's just a combination of spices that we typically think of as pumpkin pie, but it smells so good. Now, I want to say something really, really quickly. If you all always notice, I always smell things. That is because my nose always knows what my hands should be reaching for. So I could easily pick up the wrong thing and then put it in here. But if I smell it before I add it, my nose will pick it up because I know what I'm reaching for. My mind knows what I'm reaching for. But my hands could grab something different. And once you mix it in, it's in and you can't take it out. So I just like to smell things. Oh, that smells so good. Those spices, that smells so good. Oh, wow. You know, if it smells good before you even do anything more, you know you're on a good start. Because, oh, wow, that smells good. Just measure out 1 cup of buttermilk. And that is 1 cup. Got some left over from cornbread. And I'm just going to stir this in a little at a time. There we go. All the buttermilk goes in. Now, just the last 2 things to add, which is the cornstarch. I'm using corn starch for this because I do want to keep the filling gluten-free. And by the way, I want to say something about that. Because I do bake, I hate to call myself a professional baker because I don't feel like I'm a professional in anything, but because I do bake for a living and I actually do feed people, I like to create recipes that can be used for either or. So this filling as it stands is gluten-free. And I can use it for any recipe, and I don't have to think about changing it because it's already, it could be either way for somebody that has to eat gluten-free or somebody that doesn't, you know, it doesn't, it's no big deal for them. Okay, now let's fold in the coconut. It's a half a cup of shredded coconut. I'm just going to stir the coconut in. Delicious. Excellent. So the filling is done. I mean, that was quick. That was speedy. That takes no time at all. The filling is done. Now all I need to do is just pour it into my pre-blind baked pie crust. Okay, so the pie crust is, as you can see what I mean by it's blind baked. It's not fully baked, but it doesn't have that, it's not like a raw pie crust, because you always want to make sure your pie crust is well done. That can ruin a pie, any pie. Doesn't matter how good the filling is, if the crust is sad, I'm sorry. That'll just do it in. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in. You always want to make sure the mixture is stirred so nothing settles to the bottom. And then in she goes. Make sure you scrape out every bit, just like my grandmother's. There we are. And speaking of my grandmother's, this is funny because the women in my family never made pies as full as I fill my pie. So I like to fill my pie right around the rim of the crust. But if you look and see, this one leaves a good ½ inch, and I like to leave about a ¼ inch. So I'm sticking true to my ancestral baking roots because it is not full. I remember my great aunt Mary, she would make sweet potato pies, and it was about maybe like this much filling. And the crust, it wasn't completely full. It was like maybe half filled. And all of her pies was like that. I used to wonder, where's the rest of the filling? Like, why? But it wasn't because she was trying to be cheap and stretch anything. It was because they just don't like thick pies. They just don't. In the South, people don't like thick pies. So I'm sticking true to my ancestral Southern baking roots today, y'all. And I didn't even plan it. So anyway, now my oven is at 335 degrees. I am going to bake this pie until the center is still a little bit jiggly, but the edges are set. So into the oven she goes. The coconut pie is done, and I did let it cool a good bit before I moved it. Just give the custard a little bit of time to set up, but oh, it looks so good, and it smells so good. That rich buttermilk custard with that delicious flaked sweet coconut. This is going to be a treat. My dad is going to enjoy this. Now I am going to cut a small slice of this. I want to just give him the whole pie, but I also want you guys to kind of see what's going on in it, and he won't mind. He'll probably say, did you sample it? And was it good? What you think? And all those things. But yeah, he won't mind at all. So I'll cut just a little slice for you guys to see what it looks like before I give it to my dad. Now, like I said, this pie is actually for my dad, but I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece because, I mean, you got to sample it. I got to make sure it's good. Like, you don't want to give your parents something that's not good. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece just to see. So technically, it should set up a little bit of time before you start cutting. But I didn't want to wait, and I didn't want to make you guys wait. So I'm just going to cut. But it will cut much better. And ooh, it's still custardy. Oh wow, it'll cut a lot better if you just let it have a little bit more patience and let it cool. But yeah, I've got to run and meet my dad, so I don't want to wait. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Okay, let's hope it holds together. You should let pies rest before you cut them. They're just like cakes. Ooh. Oh, that looks good. And it is holding. Even though the pie is still somewhat soft, it's still holding. Oh, look. Ooh. Oh, that looks good. And I can see the specks of the spices that we added in there too. Oh, wow. I can't wait to try this. All right, I got me a fork. And I'm just going to have a little taste so I can give you guys an honest review. But it smells so good. Now this is, it's very gentle, warm room temperature. This is going to be so yummy when it gets cold. Now you can serve this with whipped cream if you like. My dad is not a fan of such things, so it will be plain without any whipped cream. But if you want whipped cream, by all means, add whipped cream. By the way, whipped cream is not traditional on these kind of pies. So if you don't want it, you can. But I've seen a lot of newer recipes that do add whipped cream. They pipe whipped cream on it. But again, the old-fashioned ones didn't have. If they did, it would have been meringue. But we don't need any other additions to this pie. Let's taste it. Thank you, Jesus. Well, that's a big bite. Okay. Oh my goodness. That is so good. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I was just going to have one bite, but I think I'm going to have two. But, oh, wow. Those little spices just add, it takes it into another level. Plus, that tang of the buttermilk is unmistakable. This is so good and it's so delicious. I hope you guys really, really give this recipe a try. It is not to be missed. Oh, wow. And my dad is going to love this. We might actually share some. He might actually share some. Maybe he'll let me get another piece. I don't know. But this is delicious. And y'all, the recipe is in the description box below this video. If you try this recipe, please leave a comment, leave your thoughts, and let me know what you think. I think it is delicious. It is not too sweet, but it is not like, you know, it's sweet, but it's not like an overly sweet pie. The coconut does not overwhelm the buttermilk, but the buttermilk does not, it's not hiding. They both are forefront when you bite into it. Like, you taste both equally. I mean, it's just, you guys, you got to try it out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and the good Lord willing, I will see you guys again in another video. Take care, y'all. Bye.